Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I do not know what number Christmas card this is. I just know I'm making a Christmas card. We are using Merry Mice from the Chibitronics set, which I have not actually used the set, but I wanted the stamp set. It has those two tiny little dies I contained within here, so you can poke a hole for the light to shine through on the other one when you actually use the set. And then also Winter Village by Lawn Fawn. I have stitched square dies, I believe from Little Inker Designs. I have a card that is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then I did a larger stitched square to kind of mat that, and then 3 of the same size, and then I used a couple hillside dies to cut 2 of them down so that we can kind of layer these to create hillsides. So I prepped some of this off camera. Hopefully that is okay and that makes sense. And now I'm going to go through with some coloring. I'm using a mix of Ohuhu markers, my new brush tip ones, and then Spectrum Noir and Copics. A whole mix of them. And I pre-grabbed a lot of the colors, so I'm just going to show them to you as I use them. This card gets very crowded. I do like the way it turned out, but I was casing a card by Nikki Foraker, I believe is how you say her name. I will tag her on my Instagram post as my inspiration. But I believe her Instagram is just Nikki Foraker, Nikkiforaker. But I think mine must have been on a smaller scale. And I think my buildings, she had used a stamp. I'm not sure which set it was from that had like this exact same church with 2 buildings on either side, but it was one stamp and one die cut and everything. And I am not sure where that's from. So I can tell it's Lawn Fawn because it's the exact same church with snow on it. But I did 3 separate buildings. That's probably part of it. So my scene was a lot wider. And I don't end up using the little trees, just the one that I'm coloring. So I don't end up coloring the other trees. And I feel like Copics would have been a better choice blending-wise for this tree here. I think they just give a better brush stroke blend on this kind of thing. So I probably should use Copics there. The Spectrum Noirs, they definitely are different. They are good markers, but they're definitely different from Copics. So I'm just kind of switching between. I use a couple of the same color combos. I really like the BR1, BR2 from the Ohuhu set. And then I show you the rest of them that I am using. There are a couple times during this video where I stop and I don't do anything because I didn't pause. We were also watching, I also just wanted to craft, but I also wanted to do a video, but we were watching the Seahawks game and they played the Vikings and there were a lot of very exciting and what the hell kind of moments happening. And so I just kind of had to pause and be like, what is going on? So that was fun. For all of this video, if you could hear as I recorded it, I have the song I Got 5 on it stuck in my head. So I'm basically just singing that out loud to myself the entire video. So it's probably good I'm doing a voiceover. They played it a couple times during the Seahawks game, the background, like at the stadium. So I heard it and it got stuck back in my head. But we watched a couple nights ago, we watched Us, Jordan Peele's newest movie. I wanted to say the newest one. He also did Get Out. If you haven't seen that, it's fantastic. But we watched Us and it was very creepy. But that song was in the movie and also in it again in a very creepy way, and they did it very well. So if you haven't seen that movie, you should watch it because it is very good. And then go Google a bunch of things about what it means and read into it because it's really fun if you don't fully understand it. But you should get some of it. And of course, some of the things he says or explains about it are pretty vague, but he wants you to make your own decisions about it as well. This scene is very cute. The mice will be decorating the tree. I probably should have given the tree some more ornaments because I have the left mouse. He's going to be trying to put the tree topper on, which is that star triangle situation on the left. This is where I was doing nothing watching TV. But this is sped up 2 times, so it's a little bit faster. And then the other one is just putting an ornament on, but then there's nothing else on the tree. So if you're thinking of a scene in that layout, what I just described, I should have like a box of ornaments to the right of them because they have more to put on, or more ornaments on the tree, and then he's just putting the last ornament on the tree, and then I don't need a box of ornaments, so that kind of thing. But I didn't do that, so this is what you get. So a lot of coloring. I was having a problem. The problem I have with Spectrum Noir is where 2 colors are a lot like too close to each other, and I'm looking up at my chart on the wall, and it must be my lighting or something because they look far enough away from each other. But this is also part of my problem where I'm trying to get away from trying to stick too close together when I'm blending 2 or 3 colors. I need to, again, just train myself, just branch out. When you're doing a red blend, you might go from a dark red to a lighter red to a pink. You just need to realize that things are going to be lighter than you think they are. The mice were pretty small, so I stuck with a 2-color blend. And they worked out okay. The one on the left is a little more reddish, and you can see that there's 2 tones. I can see it here. So it's not bad, but probably could have, in those color families, it's like the 6 and the 4 work together and the 5 and the 3, so it's not quite in order. But then the next lower, neither of those would work, blended with the other 2. So it's a little bit harder with just the spectrum range. I think the Copic, at least the hex chart that I have in front of me for Copics, is a little bit better. I think if someone were to turn my spectrum chart, because I do have all the markers, I have all the sets, and I filled in the chart, but theirs is just like each color family. Like AB is, I think, antique blue, aqua blue, something like that. But their letters mean something, and then so that aqua blue or antique blue family is all together. But I think if someone were to take all the spectrums and do a hex type chart like Sandy did, where she decided what blended well together and put them next to each other, more pausing, more football watching. There was a lot of shit going down with this game. If you were watching, let me know down below. It was crazy and fantastic. And if you understand football and you watched it, it's just very exciting when a lot of shit goes on. Because it's not, I don't know, not totally common that a lot of cool shit happens in one game. But sometimes you get a game like that. So if somebody did a hex chart with the spectrum colors, I probably could. I can't like digitally make something like that because I don't know. That's not what I do. I'm not a graphic designer. So I don't even know how I would sort that out. But I could at least look at the chart, color things, and maybe see what would blend better from different color families with each other, if that makes sense. And I someday hope to have a chart like that for the spectrums because I really like them. But sometimes they leave me hanging. Marine Simon on YouTube uses mostly spectrums when she's coloring Spectrum Noir markers, and she has a lot of videos for her favorite color combos. So if you have the markers and you're interested in seeing that, just look her up and watch all of her videos because they're awesome. But she has also specific videos for her favorite, red combos, pink combos, oranges, browns, etc. spread throughout a handful of videos. So that is helpful. I've learned a lot of combos from her. I used my BR1 and BR2 in a handful of these buildings. And I think I also colored the 2 chimneys that you can see sticking out on the 2 smaller houses that aren't a church. I'm assuming that's a church. I don't think it's a church. It just looks like City Hall. I forgot to color them, and so I colored them, I think, with like R89 and R39 to look like brick. But I only realized I hadn't colored them off camera. I'm going to be adding glittery stickle glue to the snow, so I just did a really light brush over with N1, and it's going to get covered anyway, but when it dries, maybe the gray will peek through. But for some reason, my R59 and R39 Copics are very, very close to each other. And I think one's a chow and one's a sketch. And so I don't think I mixed up the lids or anything, but yeah, they're just a little too similar. So I was going from R89 to R39 and skipping the R59 in between. There's R89. And I think I just did R89 and 59. I think what I'm thinking of is R59 and R39 are not a good blend because they are too close in color. So I was just blending for this type of deep red, going from R89 to R39 and forgetting the 59 at some point, maybe on the chimneys or something. I rarely have that issue with Copics, though. They have a very good color range, and they are all very different, except for some reason just 59 and 39 were a little too close as I was using them tonight. I'm just going to fill in the clock with BOO, and then I'm going to pause while I die cut these out, and I'm not going to use the little trees, so I didn't color those in. So I die cut those. Those were off to the left. I'm going to use my Tailored Expressions blending brushes that are in my little spinny wheel that they come with. You have to buy it separately, but it's awesome. I keep it on my desk, and now I actually blend backgrounds and stuff because I hate going into my box with my foam brushes and crap I can't keep organized. I'm savoring the new brush. It's so soft before I ruin it. I still have a couple that I haven't used. I think yellow is still a virgin. They're just so nice and soft, and I love it. And then I'm going to blend. I don't want that light blue center to disappear. So I'm going to do that and then pet my brush before I have to get it inky. I'm going to use my gray. There's no black brush, so there's gray for like gray and black, which is good. So I'm using that for the edges, and then just going to blend out the dark blue again, and then we should be good. You're about to see my disaster background. I wanted it to be snowy, so all I'm doing is using white acrylic paint and mixing it with a spritz of water, which I do off camera so I don't spray everything. I probably could have spritzed water on the background too, but I didn't think to do that. I had to get up and find my water sprayer. So I'm going to spray it, mix it up. And the problem I constantly have, here's my issue with this process. This causes splatters, like stringy splatters. So this straight up just looks like a galaxy and not snow, which is, it gets worse. It's just not, it's not cool. But this method that I'm doing splatters it back up in my face. So I just can't. And so I'm done. I've splattered streams of snow. Maybe it's a blizzard. Who knows? Just drying it with my heat gun. I need to figure out a better method for this, or just go to a white pen and spend a lot of time making snow, which I could do. I'm going to stick down the red. You are going to witness me running out of tape runner in a second. And I'm going to show you how to refill your pink ATG tape gun in the process, because I figured we might as well make it a tutorial while we are at it, as we run out of tape runner. Not yet. Almost. I guess we're not there yet. But anyway, I'll try to explain it. This is sped up 2 times. So I think I end up, I hold this down and I'm trying to place some stuff because I wanted to tuck the light posts behind this layer of snow. So we do that first, but when I go to the, or when I replace the tape in the tape gun, I'll try to describe it as I go. You can always slow down the playback of this video. There's also probably a much clearer video on how to replace the tape in your ATG tape runner, the pink gun. But you get to see me do it in this video. So I'm trying to put the building with the clock in the back and kind of put the houses on either side a little bit in front, but I'm also trying to tuck the light post kind of in the snow. It kind of worked out. And then the other one, obviously the hill goes up on the right, so the other one is going to be even more under the snow because I just want to have it look like it's either behind the hill or buried in a little bit of snow. So I just kind of go to the far left and the far right, and then I'll start with the clock building in the middle. I think this is where we run out of tape. There it is. That's the end. All right, let's do this. So you open it up, twist and take that thing off, get all the excess, the empty tape out. That little white plastic thing on the left will need to be removed. That is the middle of a new roll of tape. So I take that out. There's a little clip holding it in place. So then you open your new one, and every single time, even though you've done this 50 times, you have to open it up and figure out which way it goes. So that's the way it goes. And then you hold down your trigger or else it won't move, and you pull it until you reach about there. And then you hold that taut, stick it to itself, and then pull it and kind of wrap it through the little holes, wrap it around, stick it down because that little end is sticky. Hold down your trigger and turn the right black reel a little bit, and then push in your plastic piece and turn it to lock it, and then close the lid, and you're good to go. Hopefully that was helpful. I don't think I've run out of tape on video before. So I stuck down that piece, and then we're just going to stick down the last piece, our little first hillside. This video also my phone cut it into 2 clips. So the last couple minutes sped up, the last 4 real-time minutes are in a separate clip. So hopefully this goes smoothly and I catch it in time. So I'm just gluing down these buildings. There are a couple situations where I'll show you. I'm not putting glue on the entire backside of something because the difference in the level of, I guess, levels, like the hills, there's obviously, like here, for the tree, I'm not going to put glue in the middle. I'm going to put glue here and at the tip, because those are the only 2 places it touches the paper. There's not enough of a height difference between, you know, in that middle space for me to use any foam tape or anything like that. So I'm only putting glue where I need it, or else it would just be wasted. The glue's not going to stick to the paper below it if I were to put it in the middle of the tree. And then this mouse, for example, his toes and his ears are the only things touching. So he's going to touch the building above him and the stool, but not the space in between. So I'm not going to bother putting glue there because of that hillside lip. He's the tree topper, the star topper, but it's only going to be touching the tree and his fingertips. So I'm just going to put glue on those areas, if that makes sense. And then we have the other mouse, and he is going to be, I think I pressed his head down. It was a big enough piece of him, so I pressed him down to the background. And then the ornament actually wouldn't stay. I needed more glue closer to the edges because the ornament is only touching his tip of his hand and the side of the tree. So I got that stuck down. And then I'm doing the stickles. I have some just diamond stickles. I'm going to do the snow. And then I paused for a second after this to see if there was a sentiment, but I think I just like the card without a sentiment. I can put a sentiment on the inside, so that's fine. I'll probably send this off for a card swap or that I'm doing or something like that. So I decided against the sentiment, but I'm going to do my white my white highlights, but not before putting my hand in like wet stickles. Like who forgets they just put stickles where their hand goes? I think something was wrong with me. So I'm just throwing white accents everywhere, trying to avoid the stickles, which I probably should have done last, but I'm also trying to avoid smearing my white accents, which I also did on a card I made yesterday. So I'm trying to do enough without being too annoying with the white accents. But I think it turned out pretty cute. I think I paused towards the end where I'm looking for a sentiment, and then I come back and I just decide I don't want one on the outside of the card. I just don't want to ruin it. I don't want to put it in the snow and have it be off center. So I'll just put one on the inside. But that will finish off the card, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the antics that went along with this, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.